all turns. Good morning, good morning, happy morning with new Nicks. Got to get my heart together, right? New Nicks. All right, so we're going to take from that. Somebody's got a different heart position this morning. What's going on? Let's find out. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday. We are now officially in Aries season. Do you feel the energy? The energy is building up. Let the beat build. Tunchi. All right, Little Wayne, Little Wayne, Little Wayne. I don't know what's up. I forgot when his birthday is, but shout out to him, right? I'm going to look that up. I'm definitely going to look that up. I don't feel like looking it up right now because I'm already here with you. And I've got my sugar lumps today because I feel so sweet. Okay. And this is actually leading to the download that I had this morning. Okay. So before I get into, because we have a very short scripture this morning, because I got a lot to cover, and you know what? Let's do the scripture first, because I've got a lot to cover today, because a lot has to be said, right? Um, Hopefully everybody's gearing up for the upcoming festivities. You know, we have some pagan holidays, depending on how you celebrate and who you celebrate. And we have the spring equinox, you know, Happy New Year to those who participate. And just forward thinking, forward moving. Let's keep going because we have to anyway, right? Ah, boy, it is a gift to be around again. I changed my mug. One, I've got a smaller mug. I realized after 2 or 3 days of drinking dark roast coffee, it gives me the jitters. Okay. That's way too much caffeine. All right. And definitely I've been switching to tea lately because that dark roast definitely it smells good, but I don't recommend for the healthiest of hearts to keep continually drinking a lot of high caffeine. It has its downs, okay? So if your tolerance is that high and you've been doing it for a long time, maybe you don't notice what's happening, or maybe people don't tell you what's happening, but I am able to notice that after a few days of drinking completely dark roast, it is not good. I do not sit down. I'm always finding something to do. It's like a forced anxiety that I don't have. I'm in full relax, don't have a schedule, and I feel like I have a time limit for everything, and I don't even ascribe to that. You don't see a watch. I haven't worn a watch in over a year. I don't really need to. They have them everywhere. You ask someone about the time, and usually it's because of something. The only reason why you really even consider the time is because of something. Because other than that, you wouldn't care. Because it's a luxury to enjoy yourself and move at your own pace. So today I've got some TV, right? Peppermint tea by TV, whatever. Okay, right? It smells good. It's aromatically delicious. I put honey and a little bit of brown sugar, no condensed milk this morning. So yeah. Cheers. Cheers to you. Yeah. We're having tea this morning. It's Sunday. Are you ready? What are you going to do? Are you stretching? Please stretch. I stretched this morning. I actually did the crisscross applesauce this morning. I kind of needed to because when I woke up, I wanted to be sure this is what I wanted to say, right? Good thing though, because Easter is coming, I was able to perform my fertility pose like that. Core strength, able to do it. Um, I think it was like a good 2 minutes. I was able to withstand that pose. That's a lot of core work and that is concentration because you have to have balance. All right. So, congratulations. That was fertility for you guys because I am not actually pumped about having another baby anytime soon. I'm enjoying life. Life is enjoying me. Definitely. No, 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 No. Not only is it heirloom, it's an ode to the times. And in order to go forward, you need to know where you started from. You need to know your trajectory, and you need to have cross balances. This is why we still have the Talmud, we have the Quran, we have all these different texts, and we have books that other people are writing. People are writing manifestos all the time, memoirs all the time, right? And all of these things are Bibles of some sort, even though this is the official Bible, depending on your perspective, because this was written by man, not God. This was a testament to the stories and the travels. This is also a memoir of our Lord and Savior. But who knows how accurate these things are? We still had to depend on man to deliver the message. And all men are not without their flaws. Okay? So let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, this tea. And for some reason, this brand stays hotter. I don't know if it has to do with the brand or the cup, but this cup has the perfect sip. I'm trying to tell you. I don't know why I don't use this cup more often. It has Hello Sunshine. Isn't that nice? So nice. All right, all right, all right. So let's get this all done. All right. Oh, praise the Lord, O ye nations. Praise him, all ye people, for his merciful kindness is great toward us, and the truth of the Lord endureth forever. Praise ye the Lord. Short, sweet, curt, straight to the point, just like a Sagittarius. Very, very straight to the point. Suddenly they do shoot, the arrows do land, and you find yourself come upon. All right. So prayers to what's going on over there, Israel, Palestine. I don't pick sides. All I know is that I love life and life loves me. And just know that when things are going on over there, things are going on inside of us. Inside, because it's a holy war. Things are going on inside our minds, our bodies, our souls. We're disturbed by it because we know inherently that we've been taught, don't hit, don't do things. Right is right, wrong is wrong. All of us been taught that since the beginning, right? And it's something about a war that we don't really know the details of, but we know that there are some innocent people and there are some not so innocent people, and that's true and universal for just about everything. Okay. And we also have discovered that the not so good people are angry at the good people for being so good. Wouldn't you know? And some of the good people are angry at the bad people for, guess what? Being bad. Okay, so we got a lot to discuss here. All right, so having a ball, I've got a jade ball, got a baseball. Something about this baseball that I did notice was some of the laces were out. And that was funny because I do reference Ace Ventura a lot. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and that was more like a football suspense mystery comedy type of thing with the animal twist, and I loved it all. It was just like a mix, right? But the thing about it, he was saying laces out, right? And excuse me, pardon me, Karma wants me to get to the point because I am belching, excuse me. Laces out. Okay, so somebody's mental. Remember in that movie, the guy, all right, the guy, he had gotten so caught up on being a winner. He had gotten so, his ambition solely came from his fixation on being a winner. And to the point where his mind kind of broke and he was not able to play football anymore. He somehow got banned away from football. He ended up like stealing the dolphin, the mascot. And what was crazy is, remember what happened to Raymond Finkel, right? Remember, nobody could find him. Remember, he couldn't be found, but he was right there the whole time. And Ace Ventura kissed him. That also reminds me of Judas's kiss, right? Because he was like, who to betray it when you see me kiss them. And it was all for like some silver and gold crap, right? So going back over to Ace Ventura because I could talk a lot. So so remember Raymond Finkel was the transgendered police chief, and he kissed him, and he had a hard on for Ace because he thought he was smarter than Ace because he was right in front of his face the whole time. But how was Ace supposed to figure out that he had gotten a whole sex change? This big football player, who was a football player, decided because of whatever he got fixated on in his life that he couldn't win. Remember, laces out, that he was going to do all this elaborate stuff, all because he never got a Super Bowl ring. Do you know how many people got affected? Remember how all the guys at the station started throwing up because she had tongued down and actually given some to those guys? And those guys were none the wiser that the super hot chick who was really right. He was a kicker. Still, he was playing football, right? You tried to catch me on a technicality. I got you. But yeah, so remember, all those guys in the station had kissed them and was making out with it, and they didn't even know that they was getting all that freebie from Ray Finkel. Would they have been as advantageous? Would they have taken advantage of such a free spirit, so to speak, had they known that that was Ray Finkel? Because remember, Ace, when he realized that that was the person that he was chasing, was the person that was helping him chase the whole time, he went home and like had to wash himself like he was in a lake of Minnetonka. He was purging. Some of you feel like that this morning. Some of you have felt like that a couple times because you slept with somebody not knowing exactly what it was. Not saying that it was a jet transgender, but some of you guys have gotten some coyote ugly nights where you woke up with someone who was less than attractive. They were more attractive when you were drinking. They sounded better when you were drinking or whatever you were doing. But you woke up and you were like, oh, hell no. I gotta get out of here. Okay. By the way, Coyote Ugly is in Tampa Bay. I forget how to pronounce the place where it is, but Coyote is in a really nice place in Tampa Bay. It's got free cocks running. That's crazy. It's got free cocks. I'm trying to tell you, like free caged cocks, like real like cockadoodle doos, like roosters. It's male, a lot of male roosters are roaming the streets. The girls are out there looking pretty plain, but the male cocks have the prettiest colors. They're almost like the peacock of the species, right? So that is significant. I don't know why that's significant. Oh, once I get to talking, it's wonderful. So we have a ball. We have a big ball. We have a small ball, interchangeably. So yeah, I was talking about that and the ambition of and what people will really go through when they get fixated on a certain goal. I mean, this person was able to switch identities and actually really proverbially disappear by way of switching identities because people were looking for a big man that was a kicker at a football, at a football game. But you see what I'm saying? It ended up being a really tall, beautiful woman that he turned himself into in order to still get the same results. No longer able to be Ray Finkel, but that's not what the thing was. It was about getting a win, whatever kind of sick win that was. I mean, not unless fooling a whole police station was a win, or stealing a dolphin was a win, or making a bunch of guys think you're something that you aren't was a win. See, we got to pay attention to some people because you don't know what their intentions are. Definitely, you don't know. And it's wild. But yeah, what I woke up to this morning, purple, what? Purple chocolate covered strawberries. They were on a sheet. This is what I saw. It was like purple, like a pretty purple lavender colored chocolate covered strawberries. I don't know if somebody had them, they're going to get them, somebody wants them, but it's chocolate covered strawberries, but they're purple. Okay. The next thing that came was there's a little girl. Her mom dresses her cute, dresses her in pink, puts little barrettes and things of her in her hair. But nobody's paying attention to the fact, even though she takes good care of the child in necessity wise, she makes sure the child is clean, she makes sure that the child is dressed nice, she even makes sure the child's hair is done. But that's not the reason why she does this. She doesn't like that little girl. Somebody got a little girl that the mama don't like. And there's a lot of reasons why the mama don't like that little girl. The same could be said about some fathers, but this specifically was a little girl. And the mom was very mean to her. The mom was mean to her because she was acting out something. And whatever she acted out, the mom got angry, like very, very angry. The little girl wasn't doing anything bad per se, but I don't know whether it was the mannerisms. I don't know if it was the tone of voice. I don't know. Something the little girl did made the mother angry. And this is to say, some of you have to pay attention to who you're having your kids with, be it a boy to a man or a girl to a woman, vice versa, right? You have to pay attention because some people only have children because of what they saw growing up. They saw children as a way of survival, and they saw children as a way of coping. This is not true of children because children are so much more than a ticket to survival or a passport to housing or a segue to a relationship. Kids should not be used for that. And this is to say a lot of people are having kids for the wrong reason, or they're just getting caught up with the kid and just having it. And we have these elders and leaders that will try to tell you that or try to sway you away from your life choices, your freedom of choices, because some of us honestly know that we are not ready to have children. However, some situations happen to where we lose control or don't control the situation or are not in control of the situation and have to deal with some very ugly situations, okay? And then end up pregnant, okay? And we know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to say it, okay? So a lot of times we'll have a person that comes in who you would think that they have the best intentions for you by way of saying, you should have this baby, yada, 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 or you should not have this baby, yada, 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 yada. And a lot of times this advice will look as though it is all about you. But this is why it's very important for you to, one, take your time. It's no rush. And having a family is very, 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 very important. And it also is an option. You don't have to have a baby if that's not what your focus is. You don't have to start a family early. You don't have to do it late. You don't have to do it at all. What you need to do is be a good human being to yourself. And a lot of us, by way of tradition or patriarchy or misogyny or misandry, whatever you blame it on, okay? Let's take our time because there are too many kids on this earth that don't know why they're here. They haven't been taught why they're here. They haven't been given a purpose. They haven't been allowed to pursue a purpose by way of someone's advice, okay? In some situations, some people will say, don't have a baby because it lessens up your time. You will not be able to be dedicated to them. They cannot tell you to come and go at their whim. And your money might become compromised because you have a kid. And God forbid you want to invest in your kid. Now, that's the one way that a person would give you advice about not having a baby because of selfish reasons, not because they want you to have your freedom. They want your freedom and they plan on being in your face every 5 minutes. And if you have a kid, that kid is in their way. They can't make you do what they want you to do. Sometimes jobs are like that, boyfriends are like that, husbands are like that. Some of your funky ass girlfriends are like that. They're like, don't have a kid, bitch. I need you to be my wingman. We can't rob and set these niggas up if you have kids. Hmm. So that's one way to look at it. And then you have some people that'll tell you to have kids. One, because they don't really think that they can use you in any other way. And they need you to slow down because if you don't have kids and you're free, you may figure out that your life is your own. You might try to live it. Okay. Some people are afraid that you might live your life. And some people will tell you have kids because one, they're not going to babysit them with you. They like to hear you ask for a babysitter so they can deny you. Because bitch, who you think you was going out with? Bitch, who you thought you was going out to go see? So that can be a friend, a sister, or a mother, or a husband, a brother. Anybody can basically try to tell you to burden yourself down with kids that they don't want to see. They don't want over their houses. So you get less invites because they don't want them little kids over there. And they're not going to try to babysit with you. Um, what else? Or they might tell you to have the kids because they might see a chance in some food stamps. They might see if you get some benefits, they might get some benefits. Or if you have a kid by a pretty decent guy, they might could get a lot of benefits out of him. Maybe a recommendation for a job, maybe a company referral, might just bring around different females or different males, might bring around some more fresh meat for you to poke and prod and see what you can get something out of. There's a lot of reasons why a person would try to hook you up into another family or hook you up with somebody and benefit off of the hookup. And sometimes, really, a lot of times, the person who actually was the conduit to the hookup doesn't really benefit from it. They get used and, breadcrumbed a little bit because we got to keep you in place so that these transactions can happen. And if you get too big or big in your head or get some way, you might up and figure out that we're using you and you might just skedaddle. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So be mindful of why a person might want to keep you in position or not. Okay. And if you're having a baby, honestly, truthfully, I'm going to say this to you with both eyes. Have a baby because you're going to take care of it. Have a baby because you're going to invest in it. Have a baby because it's sweet and it's going to have half of your DNA. And you're going to see the kid possibly do some of the weird things you do or the great things you do. But those are the only reasons to have a kid, not to keep a man, not to keep your family happy, not because your shitty ass mom or aunt keeps wanting you to have a baby. I can't wait for you to settle. Shut up, Trick. Shut up. Yeah, Trick. Yeah. I might karate chop a bitch. She asked me to have a baby right now. But anyhow, just be careful. And for the guys, you guys, you got like you guys, you have the option of being a good dad or a bad dad. It doesn't matter because wherever you guys sit for 5 minutes or 10, you can tell whoever's around I'm a good dad or a bad dad. And they'll take your fucking word for it as long as you got money for a drink. Okay. So let's just keep it a buck. Okay. So you guys, cheers to you guys. This is why you guys get shit on Father's Day is because y'all actually play out this Father's Day shit all year. So pardon us for wanting the whole damn shebang for Mother's Day, even though Mother's Day should be every day too. This is why I've decided to make my own Mother's Day. I got 5-5 on the thing. So shout out to Mother's Day because May is definitely up. It's coming up. Oh, yes. Oh, joy. So, yeah, that was about the mother thing. But definitely there's somebody who has a beautiful, beautiful daughter, and they are going to fuck your daughter up. I'm trying to tell you, this hoe is jealous of your daughter by way of something. And it's weird when a mother is jealous of the child, because don't you see some of yourself in that child? Like, isn't it precious, at least the part that you are responsible for? And no, no. In this download that I saw, this woman was really nasty to this little girl. And what's crazy is the mother isn't a isn't a bad looking mother, but when she speaks, when she moves, you could see it in her spirit that she's very agitated by life or by way of something. And this is why it's not good to have kids out of survival. um you could survive better by yourself. Trust me. Don't let anybody sell you the dream of, well, if you get kids, you can have benefits, you could do this, you could do, because the truth in the matter is that's not why you should be having kids. But honestly, you don't know what kind of father you're going to get. You don't know what kind of DNA you're going to get. You don't know what type of in-laws you're going to get, whether you're married to them or not. They kind of become your in-laws by default. You don't know the genealogy. You don't know day-to-day practices. You don't know how the traffic's going to be around that kid. You understand? So I don't suggest it for the faint of heart. But this girl, this woman, because I can't call her a woman really, because she's not grown to the fact that she created a person, and she's now responsible for this person, whether she wants to or not. But this person interacts with this child in such a way that this child would not want to be, would not feel comfortable. This child, perfect in every way since born, because most kids are, they just get taught the imperfectness of this life. They get taught to not agree with how they felt, how they sounded, how they looked, how they did that thing. And in this thing, it was like the little girl was acting out something, and she did something in a way that was very girly, very feminine. And the mother, like, unprovoked, like, talked to her in a way that was very attacking. And I felt it when I heard the response in the actual attack. I felt it. It's almost like a physical slap to a child to hear somebody who used to cool and try to teach you and pat you and make you look good turn around and make you feel so ugly inside after they just primped your hair and washed you and dressed you in such nice clothes, to know that this person is only doing this to wrap up how ugly they make you feel inside. So there are still people, and there are definitely a lot of people out here making kids, and they're taking their lives out on their kids, unbeknownst to people. They're taking all their shortcomings, everything out on their children, because they can't go to other adults and do that. Other adults would punch them in the face. They can't go to other adults and do that. So they end up punking, bullying, and abusing their own children, because the children aren't allowed to go and tell. The children don't even know what the hell is going on with mom and dad at this point. All we know is that we want our parents to be perfect. So imagine that little girl, that woman probably spent all this time getting dressed and putting barrettes in her hair, and then the first thing you do the minute she acts the way she feels, which is like a little girl, you treat her like shit for it. And that happens to little boys. Imagine you have a little boy, you're teaching him the ways of the world, but then you turn around and you get jealous because at some point the little boy exceeds what you envisioned as masculine for him. And what's even sicker is he exceeded what you envisioned was masculine for you. All this time, imagine a little boy that came from your loins. Yeah, you guys. A little boy that came from your loins. and you raised him, and he turns to you and says, "You know what, Dad? I love you, but the shit that you did, like that shit ain't cool." And now you're angry at this son because he checked you on your shit. But and some men will get angry at a child's natural inclination to be a man, to be the man that they learned how to be by definition and by example. Sometimes the kids aren't just looking at that one man, they're looking at every man and they come up with something. And sometimes that girl isn't looking at one girl. They're not just looking at their mom, they're looking at a lot of girls and then they come up with something. Can you imagine being a shitty parent and then your child grows up to become a great parent? And you've got to watch this child outdo you in the very thing that you failed at, consciously or unconsciously. There are a lot of parents out here like that. Some kids get tortured as early as 9 years old, 5 years old, because they're displaying things that some of these adults could never. And I believe that's what's the problem with the girl and the mother that I was envisioning. This woman does not like the thing that she's missing that's still in her child, and does not know that she probably had it and her mother probably did that to her. So she's passing down this generational curse. Some of your parents knew that they had generational curses to fix. They got to a certain point and they said, F it. And then they decided that they were going to beat perfect into you. They were going to nitpick, nag, gossip, and put everything and put all the weight on you. I really do not like when parents put half effort into their children and then turn around and then want whole benefits from their grown up kids. Like, ma'am, sir, ma'am, to the nursing home with you. Okay. Like, you do not get to poke, prod, halfway do the damn job, and then sabotage it and then brag about it at the end when you were no longer able to destroy it. Now you have to embrace it because if I can't beat them, shit, I have to join them. That is such a very shitty way of being a parent. That is so very shitty. And a lot of us have started it from very, very young. I'm so grateful that I did not take a page out of that book. Trust me, I had to check myself a lot of times because I was like, hold up, am I doing this the way that I saw it done? Or am I doing this the way that it needs to be done? And once you have that talk with yourself, it makes such a difference before you approach your child. Like, I saw it done this way. And I also saw it done this way. But how can I do it in a way which is productive for both me and the child, to where I'm not making a child that has to heal from me. Sometimes you may have a child that you got to heal from, but that's not because you didn't make an effort. But I'll be damned if I make a child that had to heal from me. And this is the way you have to look at it. Okay. Even if the child goes off and goes into, you also have to be prepared to let that go, because even though you were a portal to bring the child in, man or woman, because guess what? Men, you are a portal, by the way. The eggs don't get inseminated unless you bring that trolley in, okay? So, like I said, a lot of times we want ownership over the DNA that we think that we expelled, but trust me, by way of God, this was the messenger for you. Your child is your messenger. Most often, you need to pay attention to the zodiacs that your children come in at, because that's the lesson they've come to teach you in your life. You're welcome. That's a little shortcut for some of us who are going into the new aged way of trying to understand this thing without having to traumatize and lay hands and send to jail and beat and abuse and expose to all sorts of nature of thing. So that. So then I came to the word of humble, right? And we have a generation of people who want to humble people. They just want to humble people. And it's like, why aren't you meek? Because humble has a different meaning. It has meanings, okay? For some, humble means to be made ashamed or something like that, but I don't want to get into the specifics. But when a person wants to humble another person, you have to think about the deficit that that person has to want to humble another person. One, why are you so focused on that person? If you think they are lacking, then they are lacking. Leave them be. Let them have the discovery to find out that they are lacking, okay? And when a person goes out of their way to humble a person, you have to realize that that person is lacking something because they're trying to address it in someone else. Maybe they lack forgiveness, maybe they lack tactfulness, maybe they lack something, or maybe they're attacking that person because they have the thing that they lack. So you have to be, on point about why a person is trying to humble another person. Some people try to humble you because they feel like they're great and they feel like you're not that great. And if you felt like you were great, why don't you act great and leave people the hell alone? That's the one thing. And some people humble people because they don't feel that very good and they feel like you think you feel like you're that good. And you got to wonder about that because why does me feeling good make you feel not that good? Um, who's supposed to be humble here, right? So, and then we have some people who overvalue their looks and they'll be like, I gotta humble her because she thinks she all that. No, babe, especially if the person didn't say that. Like, no, you think they're all that because if you thought you were all that, you wouldn't really pay that person any mind. You'd be like, you know what, hey, you're cute. And I say that a lot. Like, I see people be like, oh girl, y'all, I'm jelly. Look at that. Yeah, I can say that. I can say that and honestly be, stand on business because damn, I would like to have that. And I would say, you know what, that's cool. And I ain't gonna ask you where you got it from because hey, some people don't like to tell you where the source is from because hey, some people are boutiques and I'm a boutique person. So a lot of times I can't even remember where the hell I got this shit from because I wasn't even paying attention to the label, the name, or the store. I just saw something, I liked it, I went in, got it, and left. And that's usually how I do things. I don't care if it's $1.50, free, $3, $100, it doesn't matter. If I like it, it becomes a goal. Okay. So yeah, you got to be careful why people want to humble. Like you have some people that'll try to humble somebody from another country because they're from the country. And you're like, okay, um, why would you try to humble that person? Is it because they are exotic or they speak another language or they have access to some things that you don't know, or it's just because you don't understand them? And you have some people from America that would and it's vice versa. You have some people that are from foreign and they come and they gotta humble the American people and we're like, why are you trying to humble the American people? You came all the way over here. You could have stayed home for that bullshit. And vice versa. Like people are so caught up in the person next to them and they're not caught up in the person next to them to create a foundation. They're not caught up to say hello. They're not caught up to create a communication. They're actually around to create barriers, and that's not cool. Once you create a barrier, you lock yourself out of something that you would have wanted to get into. So now you've got to buy your way in, bribe your way in, or coerce your way in because you've locked your way out by ignorance, by way of ignorance. A lot of times we end up getting charged by way of ignorance. A lot of the stuff could have still been free and bartered had not anybody been weak and ignorant and decided to cast down or speak on or talk about and ruin the reputation. So now, like, you know what? You're going to pay. Your word is no longer your bond. You're going to pay when you come here. You're going to pay seashells by the seashore. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I see 87, 78. I don't know if that's perfect. Yeah, 70, 87, 78. Somebody's born 87, 78, and somebody's also 47. That's great. But yeah, this morning when I was getting my tea to get together, I left it. I forgot my tea as soon as I made it up. So that is specific to someone. Someone either forgets the shit that they say Or they forgot to say it all together. They forgot they said it all together. Some people are so quick to lie and they're pathological, or they're so quick to put some relish on some shit. Even if it was the truth, they like make it so egregious that like it's crazy, right? You like expect a griffin to land. That's how outrageous they're talking, right? And some people forget the shit that they say because they talk so much shit. And so it's somebody out here that's talking so much stuff that they forget how many airs they put on. They forgot how much they bragged about. They forgot. So somebody is about to be spun the block around. Somebody's about to be pulled up with them receipts. Can't you say? Oh, that's some song lyrics or some shit. I know that's some song lyrics. Let me hit you with my own. What the hell is going on between the sheets up in my home? Honey, just let me explain before I start to put your key. I'm about to be some, I need to be some shit. How did I get into this? Should have never came home with this chick. Oh, yeah. Those are only the song lyrics I could think of at the time that weren't mine. Your ancestors are calling you. Somebody. This is the African speaking drum, right? The hand drum, right? And calfskin. This is really original, right? Had it for some time. This was a gift given to Alex some time ago by one of my health clients, my home healthcare clients that I used to have. Shout out to Roxana. She was beautifully humble. Humble in a way, I shouldn't say humble. I shouldn't say humble because humble to me is derogatory sometimes, depending on. No scrubs. Yeah. So yeah. So she was a very gentle soul, and I should say meek, not humble, because she was very, very strong. And I wanted to advocate for her. But the thing about this in my advocacy for her, even though she was sweet, she kind of was strong. Uh she pick and chose her strength. And it's not to say that some of us women don't have to pick and choose when we are strong, but the way she pick and chose her strength kind of made me not want to advocate for her anymore because it actually entailed her throwing me under the bus in order for sympathy. And a lot of people will do that. See, I was an advocate for her in a way where I was advocating for her housing, her treatment, and her her overall services, right? Because that's the type of work that I was in. However, I started to notice that when other people were around that she felt like she can get things out of, because I was very understanding and nice to her, she felt as though that I should understand that she was able to throw me under the bus in order to get extra services from other people. And I realized that this was what she was doing. So when I decided that I no longer wanted to work with her, I actually put in a work order and said I would like to be because I would like to be taken off the considered for a change or discharge off of this case due to a boundary that had been crossed. I believe that this patient is, emotionally pulling on my strings and she's using it as leverage, and I'd like to be reassigned. However, my supervisor just assigned me to somebody else and put me in a whole bunch of different stuff. But either way, with this particular person, it became very very well known how she would use her spirituality and her relationship to the church to do these things. So I realized that I wasn't the only one who she will position in such a way. See, she gets you so caught up in her situation because she did have a situation in which you could be considerate of because it was a sad situation. It was a situation that was caused not by herself, but she had to live with it. But the issue was now that this person has realized that she could use sympathy to not only gain people, she didn't realize that she was also using sympathy to basically damage a person that was in her corner. By the way, I'm going to say it's me. The issue came was because she realized that I understood why she was doing it. So she really, in her head, figured out that I wouldn't feel like it was that bad because I knew why she was doing it. And this is why I had to pull away from her. Sometimes you have to pull away from people who count on you to be nice. You got to pull away from people who count on you to give. You have to pull away from people who depend on your niceness while they don't have any. And it's not that she was blatantly being mean to me, but she was putting me in a bad situation socially. When a person doesn't take up for you, even though you're taking up for them, it becomes unequal and unreciprocated. Because why am I protecting you and you're not protecting me? And I realized that this person will sit there and let somebody come up with stories, and she wouldn't say anything to anybody because she needed them later and she did not want to make them angry with her by taking up for a person. Now, this is why this is one sided, because in my situation, if someone was to come up and say, hey, she did this, or she said that, or this is how she is, I wouldn't let them talk like that. I would say, hey, I would take up for them because I'm not waiting for anyone to do anything for me. I don't owe anybody any loyalty. I'm loyal to what the truth is. And the truth is, hey, don't do that. But when you do that so many times and it's only one sided, you become your own enemy because you're taking up for a person who would never take up for you. You're taking up for a person who is weak. You're taking up for a person who does not have the strength to protect you or themselves. And honestly, I felt the way because now I see her as a coward. Because how can you be so bold as to let me stand up for you while you don't stand up for me? And that creates a bad situation. And a lot of us have gotten into that situation, not really knowing you're advocating for a person who is constantly, even sometimes intentionally, sticking swords in your back by way of trying to keep other relationships open, even though the other relationships might not be that good, might not have any potential at all. In this situation, there was a family member that was very abusive to this person, but I don't know, that person was allowed to abuse, and they were allowed to say or come up or make accusations, and nobody was there to arbitrate. Nobody was like, hey, this shouldn't happen. This should stop. Everybody let it go. And this is why I let that certain person go, because you have to realize some people will trap you in a box of being good to them while they'll never be good to you. Some people will say, yeah, that person is so forgiving. That person is so nice. And God forbid you change, because you were supposed to be forgiving and nice forever. You were supposed to be a doormat. You were supposed to let everybody get the same experience with you. However, nobody was going to give you that experience. Nobody was going to be forgiving with you. Nobody was going to be giving to you. Nobody was going to protect you. Nobody was going to take up for you. None of that. So when you change, be prepared to be the villain in everybody's story, because everybody thought that they were going to use you, because everybody talked with each other and said, hey, this person is forgiving. This person is consistent. This person is nice. Let's take advantage, only to find out that the person who was nice was being nice by way of God. But you also know what happens by way of God: smiting, smoting, destruction, destroying. And this is why some things happen when it's gone too far for certain people. It becomes very spiritual when a person has done nothing wrong. Honestly, it's not that they're perfect, and it's not that they didn't do some things that weren't seen bad in the eyes of God. But as far as man was concerned, God will intervene on those people's behalves. Sometimes you'll see a person go through things in their youth and they'll go to God and they'll be forgiven. And then you'll try to figure out, why does it look like grace upon them? Why does it look like they get away with this and that, even though they're not getting away with anything? You're just staring too hard and you're too invested in them and not in yourselves. But the issue becomes when the nice person no longer feels like they'd have to be nice. When the person who always answers stop answering. When the person who everybody discussed said this person will always care stops caring. When the person that said I will always be there is no longer there. See, this is God's way of balancing things out because some people don't deserve good people. So you can't be upset when you don't be good to good people and they're removed from your life. Sometimes you'll never meet another good person ever because you've already chose the people who you want to be with. And they have to leave you. It is their responsibility, the good people, the people who know that they've undoubtedly not done you wrong, they have to leave. It's not that they're being bad to you because they've abandoned you, is you've abandoned them and you've abandoned yourself. And this is not abandonment when it comes from a good person to a person who would not even protect them. No, they're being good to themselves. And you could go on and be bad to you in the company that you kept, that you thought was going to see you through on this clandestine situation. You understand? So, good people are not bad because they leave your life. Good people are just what they are, gone. So when you start to experience a lack of good people in your life, know that you've taken someone or something for granted. Be mindful that there are some people who will create situations in your life because they need you to be a bad person because everyone else saw you as good. Be mindful that some people are very nasty in that way. They knew you were good. They needed other people to see you as bad because they were being bad to you. And they needed something so that they didn't feel so horrible inside. But without a doubt, 88 on the thing, 5215. Without a doubt, these people need to be left alone. So if you believe that you are a good person and you have good things and you're going toward a good place and you're going to be the whole pie and not the slice, it is your best bet to just take yourself away from these good people. From these bad people. Up and leave. You've done nothing to them. You owe them no apologies because you did them nothing wrong. You don't take things from them because those things were yours. See, this is what bad people need you to feel. They need you to feel guilty for not being like them. So they try to make you a bad person because that's the only saving grace for why they did you that way. Be consistent. Stay good. Stay good and remove yourself from those people. You don't have to leave a Dear John letter. You don't have to leave a note. You don't even have to announce you're leaving. They didn't announce that they were bad. They didn't let you know what they were saying about you. They didn't let you know what people were saying about you. They didn't let you know what was being done to you or what was being planned on you. So why do they need notification that you're just going to go be good where you're good? So that's the message on that. Some people have to run out of good people in order to realize that they are bad people. And it is your responsibility to remove yourself, even though they haven't opened up a vein on you. Trust me, you felt the disrespect. You noted the confusion. You walked into the room and didn't understand why the eyes or why the air felt so thick. Trust me, these people knew you were a good person. They just wanted to set you up to be a bad person. Because how is it that you're not like me? How is it that I can't make you go into default damage? How is it that I can't make you put you in survival mode because I've peeped you living? Some people are like that. And God forbid you grow up and you start off with somebody and they assume that y'all are alike, but y'all are never alike. They just assumed. They only saw you from the outside, they never saw you from within. And that's why you also have to be careful with giving people your hand before you give them your heart, because some people will only get used to your hand and they won't even think about your heart. Some people will tell you, take that shit back. They will throw your heart back at you. I ain't come over here for your heart. I came over here for your money, your status, your fame, a ride, some soup, a sandwich, some toilet paper, a cot, a hot, and a squat. I ain't come over here to talk to you. I didn't come over here for your heart. I didn't come over here for your love. I didn't come over here for emotion. I came over here strictly just to use you. So you shut up with that heart shit and you let me use everything that you got, even though I ain't got shit to give to you. Let me use it. And you be good because everybody told me you was good. And I'm going to tell everybody you're a fucked up person if you don't let me be bad to you. You hear me? I'm going to tell everybody you're an effed up person if you don't let me be bad to you. And that's how it goes. Are you going to get away from these people? Some of you are scared. Some of you do not know how to manage without people pleasing. Some of you don't know how to manage without that call from granny or that call from your faggot ass uncle. Some of you do not know how to manage without that thought of an aunt. Some of you do not know how to manage without a two and a few from your grandmother, but you don't go and you don't do anything for her. You understand? Like some of you are racking up some heck of karma because you want to put good people in the box while you play on it. Y'all want to play on the boxes top. Y'all want to play on the boxes side. Y'all want to play on the boxes bottom. But you want other people in a box of good forgiveness and wealth and health to lend to you because you don't want them to have it. You don't know that every time they do something for you that it depletes them. And that's the siphoning of energy. A lot of times you guys do not know you're energy vampires. Some people, they walk in a building and they just suck all the energy out because they make people tired. They're like, oh, here they come. Oh, here they kids. Oh, they gonna need this. Oh, they gonna need that. Oh, they gonna have an attitude. I can't look this way. I can't feel this way because they gonna go off about it. And sometimes the people just visiting and y'all be like letting people come and overstay their welcome. Y'all be letting people come and destroy y'all environment. Y'all be letting people come and destroy y'all family, y'all homes, y'all children, destroy y'all relationship with y'all spouses because you don't tell them people get out, go away. And for real, I'll say get out, go away. And the person who's on your side, they can go too because they like that shit. Bye. See the boy in the background, he is getting so tall, so big. We were at the park yesterday having a good time. And I was tripping because there were some big kids. Hey, boo. Yeah, and there were some big kids at the park and they were like putting a bunch of trash all over the park. So we left because like the big kids, like what is going on with them? Like I didn't even want to tell them, won't you go on the big kids playground and play, because they were on the small kids playground throwing trash everywhere, eating snacks and just throwing the trash everywhere. And it's like, no, because y'all was little kids at once. And like, come on, man. Like really? And I'm not going to sit there and say, because I don't know how you guys are raising your kids. Some of y'all kids don't listen to other adults. And some of y'all kids don't even care if it's an adult or not. Some of y'all kids don't respect y'all, so they ain't gonna respect nobody in the street. So I didn't even go talk to them because for them to already be on the small kids playground dirtying it up, you already know where they coming from anyhow. What's up, go? What you need? Eat. What's up? Look, now he wants to sit on my lap. That my shinky shinky. He says good morning. I'm not going to keep him on the camera. Go on. Go in my bed. Go lay down in the bed. Go ahead. I'll be off in a minute. So let me get some stuff done because he's ready to smile. He's ready for my attention this morning. Oh boy. So that's my message about love and you know being and put in a box and being a good person and things of that nature and having kids and the reason of having kids and survival because you know all of us start off as kids. We start off perfectly as kids, perfectly innocent, and we get taught these different things. We get programmed and indoctrinated into these certain things. So it's very good to just go back and do a little synopsis, a good reflection, so that people are brought up to speed, you know. And now a lot of people understand, you know. Yesterday I got on and I don't work on Saturdays, but yesterday I got on because some people I felt as though I needed to say some things out because some people got in their head that they were perfect and they were flawless and they were without blame for something. So I just needed to get on there and give a quick refresher, a good reminder like, nah, y'all shit stink. Y'all running around trying to make me be a good person to y'all, make me be forgiving to y'all. But do y'all realize how much stuff y'all exposed me to by way of y'all being cowards and weak and not really wanting nobody to see you for the daggone person that you really was? You put people in a messed up situation because you want to look good and you want to look perfect, all while being a shit show. Okay. So, yeah, I had to let it out because people have a tendency to speak very freely when they think that you're not. And yeah, I'm about that life. I've been nice to you all because if I actually really told you how I felt about you, you'd be on somebody's couch, like really trying to figure out life. I've only been nice by and tactful by way of knowing that you guys have very very fragile egos because if you didn't have a fragile ego you wouldn't be the way that you are. So this is why I've kind of not said a lot of things to you all because your fragile ego is what I've met first. So I chose not to speak out to you. But since you feel as though it's okay to put mouth on me, let's have at it. And you know what? 33 is a perfect age to still be focused on yourself. It not only are you ascending, your brain is doing something called settling. Okay? From teens, from our very young age, from the first time we meet this strange person that's called a teacher and they're supposed to be teaching us, we are going through a lot of changes. And then that happens through 12th grade. And then they have a nerve to try to tell us we're going to either you're going to go to trade, you're going to get a job, or you're going to get a college. And some of us really didn't want to do none of that shit, but that's on another on a whole nother scenario. But I really feel as though even though I had my first at the age of 23, which was grown, I had a career, I had a 401k and everything, I still felt like there were some things I needed to get done. I needed to see. And even though I did make the first one at 23, I still did not go back into it because I still felt like I needed some more time to myself. So I took that time and 12 years later, I had another one. And you know, sometimes you'll never feel like you're done. Sometimes you'll always feel like you're learning. That doesn't mean to say that you have to put children, you know, having children to the side or not. It's just that I think as you get a little older, you're better prepared and you actually know what you want to do. I think at 33, that's a perfect age to say yay or nay because you've lived enough life. You've got enough in the back of you that you've got enough in the front of you to look forward to. And I think it's perfect positioning. That is a Jesus year for a reason. And yeah, take your time. I can't say I would have waited until 30. I wish that I could have waited until 30 to have a child because I would have already figured out that the career that I had at the time is not the career that was forever. Okay. And I knew that when I went into this career, I knew that I was going to build upon that. But the thing is, I had a child in between and it kept me consistent, I will say, and it kept me out of certain things because I felt for me, once I had a child, certain things had to stop because I had to show the child something. So for me, it worked out in a great way. I always say for me because the other parent is the other parent. And I don't know what they're thinking, and I'll never take for granted even being in close proximity because you can know a person all your life and still never know them if this is what they choose. Okay. So I don't take those things for granted. What I do know for me, when I got into being a parent, it was a big thing. It was a big milestone for me. And I chose to do it as good as I could possibly do it because I'd been around people who had not done it right, who would not do it right, and did not care and did not want to be told that they fucked up. Okay, so this was one of the main motivations for me being a good mom or trying to be or presenting as one, because we don't know how people talk, right? But what I did know is I did a lot of work. I worked a lot. I kept a clean home. I learned about, diets. I learned about bone structure. I taught myself so much. I took my time. I tried to be patient. I taught my sons how to forage. I taught them how to, I listened to them. I gave them, creative space. I gave them space. I didn't pressure them into things that they didn't know about. Although I can't say that for the other parent. Like I said, I don't speak for the other parent, but I did my part from the bottom to the top. So yeah, that's what it was. That was my sacrifice for my kids because I seen it done so bad in so many ways and so many angles. I didn't want to be that person. I've even seen people who were devout church people like really ignore the hell out of their child because they just wanted to look good going to church. The child was not even addressed until it was time for church, or till it was time for Bible study, or till it was time for choir rehearsal, or till it was time to act like there was a good family. Like I've seen these people and I've seen them on both sides. I've seen the ones who don't go to church and they still say, "Oh, well, we clean and we do this and we do that." But no, you keep secrets for really bad people. And if you're not keeping secrets from very bad people, you are the bad people that you're keeping secrets from. So you have to put on an extra strong front. You always have to act as though you're a family. You always have to act as though you're the matriarch or the patriarch of the neighborhood because it looks good to be the pillar of the neighborhood, even though you ain't shit. All right. So with that is I know you had to tap in before I took the fuck off. I told you take a weekend, but now a nigga ducked off. You tried to take my business. You tried to take my voice. You tried to take my motion because the Empress got a choice. Use a goofy little loopy. And I know you're tired of you. I'm protected. Yes, a relic. Are you really just a fool? I wish my exes lived in Texas, but I know that's not a rule. They said I'm lazy, tried to haze me. Life could be so cruel. Hello, stupid. No more Cupid. It's all smoke just like a blunt. Sitting pretty, Hasadiddy, and you told these hoes out front. Said I'm crazy, real some shady, but you really just a punk. Tried to ruin my reputation. Tried to put me in a trunk. Yeah, I saw that Max tape. It's all good, bigger wood, and more peace straight out the jump. Sex addiction, money friction. Why your homies trauma dump? Can't stop shit when I pop it, but I know you're on the hunt. I won't drop shit. You ain't got shit, bitch. I told you I'm not the one. Use a lame. Use a lame. You's a lame man, you ain't got no shame. Ooh, here's a good one. You wanted my spotlight, you gotta go to jail. You gotta go to school, cause ain't no one to pay your bail. You can't sell no booty, cause all the hoes like you gonna tell. And you ran out of phone calls, now you just go through hell. Ain't got no competition, I'm just gonna pay my bills. Gonna keep writing these books because it keeps me away from dills. The pickles. Might start a revolution, at least that's what people say. But them same folks be preaching be the same that want my pay. Hmm. I used to want to swim, but they threw my ass an anchor. Oh shit. When I looked for the culprits, they was visiting a banker. So I went to the doctor. The results nearly shocked her when my credit finally cleared for a 2026 helicopter. Cha-ching! I'll be in here chilling like a billy. You woke up starving, darling. You don't ever get up. You woke up starving, darling, and you don't ever ever want to get up. You want me to please you, feed you, roll around and need you, and now I don't give it up. You want me to please you, feed you, roll around and need you, and now I don't give a fuck. But you woke up starving, darling, and you don't ever get up. You woke up starving, darling, and you don't ever, ever, ever get up. You want me to please you, need you, roll around and feed you, and I don't want to get up. You want me to please you, feed you, roll around and need you, but now I don't give a fuck. Imagine beefing and I'm staring at my passport. You don't like me, gon' respect me, though I'm too short. Bitch! Breath be stretching while you sucking on a Newport. It ain't an easy thing. It ain't an easy thing. You used to laugh at me, but I was on them Rockports. I know you studying to serve the proper retort. But bitch, keep playing with me, you're going on a report. It ain't an easy thing. It ain't an easy thing. Every day I swear you think I play, I'm slaying. It ain't an easy thing to say the things I'm saying. They're gonna say it broke, but when I go, I'm paying. It ain't an easy thing. It ain't an easy thing. It ain't an easy thing to say the things I'm saying. It ain't an easy thing because the points are shaving. It's not gonna be easy because they wanna cave in. It ain't an easy thing. It ain't an easy thing. See, you have to understand. Some people, they just want to see you cave in. You done did so good all your life by them, not by you. Because sometimes you feel like you're a failure. Sometimes you feel like that ain't go right. Sometimes you wanted it to go this way and not that way. But it's someone that's watching you who say, this bitch make it look easy. That dude make it look easy. I can't stand them. They think they all of that. They think this. They think that. Nah, shorty, it's you thinking that and you projecting onto me. Right now, I'm just trying to get from A to Z. This all I'm trying to do. And some people is so caught up on watching everything you do that they feel as though they have a right to judge you, whether right or wrong, but they ain't never judged themselves in such a way. Because if they actually judged themselves in such a way, they would see that they were lacking, they were seriously lacking and slacking. So the lack of control or perceived naivety is what makes you a candidate for manipulation. It is empathy, allowing small compensations to cope for someone's lack of consideration from subtle to extreme. Empath can be a description or a slight, depending on who is using the word. Sometimes I feel a little offended when a person calls me an empath because that means what you about to try to sucker me, or what you about to use emotions to try to control some type of outcome. So sometimes when a person is using empathy or calls you an empath, sometimes you can see it as a slight, sometimes you can see it as a compliment. But just know that there's some type of emotional manipulation in that whole word. Okay, intentions mean everything. Pay attention to what was said. Body language equals bitches be trying to act cute while still administering ugly bitch behavior. You know what I'm saying? So they be hitting you with the Roman's revenge and not even a Roman. Roof, not a dungeon dragon Wow. I wrote this about a month ago. Roof, roof, not a dungeon dragon. So somebody out here trying to be Nicki Minaj, but they're not built like that. They can't take it. They can't take it like they dish it. No, no, they can't. They can't. They can't. They can't. They got that energy straight out the back. But if you would see them in the dark, they cry in the bathroom in the dark with the lights off because they don't even want to see themselves cry because they say, you're a weak bitch, but they're in the mirror. That is weird. Men do it too, so take what resonates. This has all been a read. Yeah, also, I've been working so much, so sometimes my voice is going to be changing. I've been trying to change, I've been trying to like save my voice because I've been working on my warm-ups and my warm-ups are going crazy. And this range is definitely returning back to the range it was back on Aruna Avenue. I'm so glad that I'm abandoning the range that I acquired at 3616 Hayward Avenue. That was a nightmare. That neighborhood, that whole entire neighborhood was under some stuff. And now looking back and reflecting on all of the families that I remember, there was a lot of stuff happening around Hayward Avenue, Cuthbert, all that. There was a situation there and a lot of people suffered. And I remember all of the girls that I used to hang with, like Brenda, Michi, Shantae, and the other Alexis. Yeah. We all kind of went through the same thing because we all had older boys in our house. And that's all I'll say. We all had older boys in our house. And there was a lot of helicopter parenting going on at that time. And I'll leave it at that. But, I'm just saying, just be mindful. Um, the 80s babies were incredibly great and resilient and creative. The ones that were born in the 70s, they kind of, I don't know. I got a 50-50 for them. But definitely the 80s babies, shout out to you. Much love. The 80s created such an enigma of different human beings that had to survive the 50s and 60s babies and some of the 70s. And right now, the 80s babies are trying to figure out what the hell is going on with these 90s and 2000 babies. Like, we are stuck in between these generations and we are very resilient. We are very resilient people. And we're going to keep being resilient, but I need us to know that it's okay to step away and let them 50s, 60s, and them 90s, 2000 people cave in on each other. Because something makes me feel like they plan to put all that fucking pressure on us. And I'm not here for it. I'm not standing for it. Nick's out. Don't come for me because one of them done spent you.